They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Sometimes the story behind that picture is just as powerful. Hi everyone, if you're new to the channel, my name is Bill Benoist and I'm all about embracing retirement with purpose, passion, and new beginnings. And in today's video, I want to talk about a passion I had back in high school that I subsequently lost and then rediscovered it after leaving corporate America. Going back to my teenage years, and this is embarrassing to talk about, but I really did not see any future ahead of myself. I was a very troubled, very difficult teenager in the sense that I was kicked out of pretty much middle schools and high schools, and I ended up going to continuation schools. The thing is, in continuation schools, there was a lot of vocational classes. There was auto mechanics. I couldn't do that. Me in front of a car, if something was going wrong, I was lifting the hood looking for an on-off switch to reboot it. As far as woodworking, I'd be lucky if I survived cutting off my finger, if not my hand. And forget about machinery or welding, but they did have one class in photography, and that was the one that I went into. And I got to tell you, it was right around that time, I think I was 16 years old, that I really fell in love with photography. And it was something that I felt I could do well. And more so than that, I had a teacher, an instructor there. His name was Daryl Fluke. I'll never forget this man, because he took an interest in me when no other teachers really did. Like I say, in the regular high school, before I got kicked out, I think I had straight Fs. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't doing much better in the continuation schools either, except for the photography class. And during this time in the photography class, I remember there was this one girl, and I was talking to her, and I think she was 16 at the time. She had mentioned she was taking these 2 night courses at a junior college in photography. And I'm like, what? How are you doing that? You're 16 years old. And she told me, she said, Bill, all you need is a parent's signature and the school to sign off on it. And as my mom, I was total delinquent at the time, so she was more than happy to sign on the dotted line because, oh my God, my kid's finally going to college. And the school, because it was a continuation school, it's a gold star for them to see one of those kids go into college as well. So I started taking these college courses at night into photography. And right about this same time, like I say, it was about 16 and a half years old, the state of California came out with something called the proficiency test. And if you were to take the proficiency test, and you had to be at least 16 years old, if you passed it, you could leave high school altogether. Now, this was the very first year that it was offered. And my chances were slim of being able to pass it, especially with my grades, but somehow I did. I passed it. And I left high school at 17. I think I was right around 17 when I took it. And I left high school at 17. And you know what I ended up doing? I ended up going into that junior college full time. And by the age of 19 years old, I had a 2-year college degree in photojournalism. During that time, I worked as a freelance photographer for a lot of small town newspapers. I was on some special assignments for a couple of different magazines. I remember Motocross and Karate Magazine. I worked as a freelancer for the Peace Officers Association, or PORAC or something. I can't even remember what that stands for, but I remember going and covering their special police Olympics up in Humboldt County. I did a lot of photography work, and also at that time too, I was 18 years old. I remember that I actually applied for a business license and did a DBA, doing business as photographer of the unusual. Because back then I already saw that I wanted to be something a little bit different. So I graduated in the photojournalism after a couple of years, and I moved down to the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. The thing is, although photography was fun, journalism was fun, there was no jobs in Silicon Valley for a journalist or a photographer. And quite frankly, even though I was really good in English and I took just about every English course. Oh, and I want to say something too. Although I was getting straight F's in high school, I was getting straight A's in college. So I guess something there that maybe I was a little bit more intelligent than what people thought. So the bottom line is I moved to Silicon Valley, and there was no jobs in photography or journalism. And so I ended up going into the banking industry. And I worked in the banking industry for a number of years, and then a couple of other industries, and I ended up in technology. And that's where I stayed for the next 25 years until I left in 2015. I never bought another camera. I never even thought about photography until I started this YouTube channel when I was doing my coaching practice. So I left corporate America in 2015 to take a part-time coaching business full-time. And it was some point after that where I discovered YouTube and wanted to start making some career-related videos on YouTube. And I realized, hey, you know what? I need a camera. And so I ended up going out and I bought this Canon M50, and I learned how to work it and how to do the filming of the videos. And over time I got better, at least I hope I did. And things were going good. But then there was this point where it was like, I have this really cool camera here. Why not go back out and start thinking about photography again? And this was, like I say, a few years ago. And back in the day, when I was in college, everything was film related. Now it's digital, right? The processes are pretty much the same. You have the aperture, you have the shutter speed, you have the ISO. Learned all of this stuff in high school. But with the digital cameras, there was so much more, so many more settings to, really enhance the photo that you were taking. And it was a big learning curve, but I started enjoying it. And as I got a little bit better at this, I realized that I needed, a more, what I would say, upgraded camera. At the time in my mind, it was like, I want a professional camera, not a entry-level YouTube camera. So I ended up buying a Sony a7 III and shot with that for a while, and then ended up buying a Fuji X-T4. And I still have those cameras. I'm still shooting with them today. They have become my passion in life. My purpose is this YouTube channel. My passion is all about photography. And I touched on this a few weeks ago, and I'm going to put a link to it in the upper right-hand corner, when I interviewed my friend Keith, who he retired from the real estate industry and bought a van, and he's driving all over the United States in this van that he named Joy, going to these places and taking just beautiful photos, and he's selling them either through a print shop or he's building calendars with them, and he's just doing a great job. Here's somebody that's truly following a passion out there, literally following it in a van named Joy. So this is my passion, and what I want to stress to you in this channel is that one of the biggest rewards that we get in retirement is time. We have the time to follow our passion. What is your passion out there? Do you have a long lost passion that you've been thinking about? Is there something that you're really want to enjoy doing? Because I am sure everyone out there has a passion. Maybe it's forgotten, like mine was forgotten. But if you start thinking about what is out there, bring it to the foreground and start following it. You won't believe the difference it will make in your life. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it a little inspirational. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification. I'd really appreciate it. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.